Welcome to Bravo and Blaze with Jenny Blaze. I'm your host, Jenny Blaze, and we are covering all the latest Bravo news, quote unquote news, and the Bravo weekly lineup. We have some sad news and good news. The sad news is that the Real Housewives of Orange County season 18 is over, but the good news is Married to Medicine season 11 is here. And as a disclaimer, I would like to remind everyone that this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. We are not here to intentionally harm anyone and by no means use this platform as an avenue for bullying. And anything said is alleged. As always, I can't believe I have to say this, but please do not take anything I say as Bible. I am not a journalist, nor do I claim to be one. Nothing I say is fact-checked because, again, this is for entertainment purposes only. Be cool, not all like uncool. If you are not following us on social media, make sure you do so. We are, excuse me, at Bravo and Blaze on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch. And we are at Jenny Blaze on YouTube. Also, we are live. We are live streaming to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. If you join us on YouTube, you can interact in our live chat where you can ask questions, give your own thoughts on what we're talking about, or interact with one another. I will take breaks throughout to read through and share some of the comments. If you are a podcast listener, please note that we have visuals over here on YouTube for you to look at. The audio podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. To help support Bravo and Blaze, make sure you subscribe, follow, share, like, comment, and leave a 5-star review. As a reminder, we have bonus content around Real Housewives of Salt Lake City on Patreon, where we can speak more freely in a safe and uncensored space. Sign up at patreon.com/Bravo and Blaze. Hold on, I'm gonna switch this ticker and also go to the comments. Okay. This week we did 2 bonus episodes because Bravo is force feeding us during the week of Thanksgiving, and I might need a diet. Just kidding. Never. So we had a bonus episode to go over the FanFest coverage. One thing that I didn't mention in the bonus episode that I saw afterwards was Phaedra, Portia, and Cynthia were hanging out with Jamie Foxx in Miami. There's a what is this noise? There's a video circulating where Phaedra is twerking and Jamie Foxx is like pointing at her, and it's really funny. Love it for them. I wonder if they got any Diddy news. Oh my gosh. What else? A lot has been going on this week. There's been a lot of Vanderpump Rules activity. So we had a second bonus episode. Schwartz and Sandy's announced its closing just 5 days after I visited IRL. It feels very witchy. We also learned that the season 12 cast of Vanderpump Rules will be featuring a whole new cast of people, which is very sad. Since that news, we have a lot of people from the cast posting, Sheena, Jax included. I think Lala did, Ariana. Did Katie? I don't know if Katie did. James Kennedy did. Who else? Schwartz did. Also, there's some good news that I didn't include in the bonus episode. Kristen Doty announced she's pregnant, and I just want to officially congratulate her on that news. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. I'm on the valley, even though everyone else is gone. Sorry, I'm not like a freestyle rapper, but that's all I could think of. What else? Okay, I keep talking about this. The 11th annual American Reality Television Awards show was last week in LA that I went to, and today it is airing. It's on the Roku channel, Pluto, Zumo, Triller TV, and YouTube. I believe it's being released at 4:10 p.m. Pacific time. So it's 7 p.m. for East Coasters. And I put a link in the show notes just as a reminder. Bravo and Blaze was nominated for overall reality podcast. So you can see if we won. Also, Heather McDonald was the host. And I have this whole backstory. It sounds kind of like weird and creepy, but it's not, I promise. But it has to do with Heather McDonald, and she's kind of been a part of this whole Bravo and Blaze journey since the beginning, and she doesn't even know it. I told the story on, I think it was a Patreon. Maybe I'll tell it another time, but yes, go check that out. My hope is that there is a clip of Alex Baskin and I together on screen during this award show, because we were sitting right near each other. We're sitting at tables adjacent from each other. Okay, enough of that. Let's go into Bravo quote unquote news, and we have some other pop culture things. I think because FanFest was so jam-packed, there wasn't as much that came out as far as Bravo quote unquote news. And when I say quote unquote news, I mean like cast photos, trailers, sneak peeks, first looks, anything going on, anything that's made headlines by the casts of these shows, or maybe even around production of these shows. And like I said, we've just been like force fed by Bravo. So there isn't that much, but I did want to touch on two shows that I just love, love, love. Let's talk about the Traitors season 3. So the cast photos came out. I think I'm going to do a whole separate episode just for the Traitors, because I think I want to have a separate podcast show completely just for the Traitors coverage instead of including it on Bravo and Blaze. I think Bravo and Blaze basically turned into the Traitors coverage back during season 2. So I'd like to keep them separate. Let me know what you all think, because I want to go through every single cast member. I want to go through predictions. I found some articles that kind of like summarizes all of their backgrounds, because I don't know all of these people. I only know the Bravo Lebs mainly. So I have a picture of the Traitors cast, and let's give a shout out to reality TV _fan, because they put this together. So at the top of the Traitors cast, season 3, we have Danielle from Big Brother, Brittany from Big Brother, Carolyn from Survivor, Chanel Ayan, that's our girl, Real Housewives of Dubai. Oh, and by the way, I thought this was kind of weird. On Watch What Happens Live with the Peaches and Snowflakes, Portia, Cynthia, and Phaedra, when Andy asked who was the most annoying Bravo Leb, they all said Chanel Ayan. And I was floored because I love Chanel Ayan. But I guess I could maybe kind of see that. Anyways, next we have Gabby from Bachelor Nation. I don't know these people. Then we have Dolores, Real Housewives of New Jersey. Whoop, whoop. Dolores, hell yeah. Followed by Robin Dixon from Real Housewives of Potomac. I have not loved Robin on Real Housewives of Potomac, so I am willing to give Robin a clean slate in this Traitors environment. However, I mean, I can give her a clean slate, but that doesn't mean I forget everything from the past. So I will be keeping a close eye on Robin, but I hope that she redeems herself from Potomac. And I'm looking forward to seeing who Robin is away from Giselle and Juan, because when she's with them, she's a mess. Anyways, Dorinda Medley from the Real Housewives of New York and Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, where they filmed the entire season at Bluestone Manor, which I got to visit for Halloween. Like a dream come true. The place was amazing. And then to be decked out with Halloween decorations. Oh my gosh. Dorinda cooked. She actually cooked and she served the food onto our plates. Like how I think I manifested that. Anyways, I hope that Dorinda goes the distance. I hope that she wins this whole thing. I'm going to be rooting for her. Next, we have Trishelle from Selling Sunset. So I do know her because I've watched Selling Sunset. I kind of like fell off the bandwagon on that one, but I used to like her in the beginning of Selling Sunset, and then I things kind of shifted, and I didn't really like her that much anymore towards the end. But this is a whole new environment. The Traitors, it brings something out in me and others, I feel like. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Trishelle is going to bring because she can be feisty. And the new Trishelle is pretty feisty. Next, we have Sierra Miller from Summer House. First of all, her cast photo is just so cute. I freaking love it. She's like, they all had this like picture frame to go take a picture with. But they used it as like a prop. So you can frame yourself in it. And I don't know, I'm sorry for the podcast listeners. And I don't have a picture of the cast photos right now on YouTube, but when we go through the Traitors, I will go through all of them because I do have the cast photos. But she just looks so good. She's got gloves on and she's got this cute little hat on and she looks very serious, very, I don't know, different from what we've seen on Summer House. And I'm here for Sierra to kick ass. And I'm here for her to go the distance as well with Dorinda. And I hope that she just shines on this season because I think she needs this. She needs a little boost away from Paige, Amanda, and the rest of the Summer House people. So I'm really excited for her. Although, don't forget, Kyle Cook was on season 1. So we could get some of Kyle Cook being like super annoying on Summer House, being like, oh yeah, I went to the Traitors and la la la. So let's hope that doesn't happen, but I could see it happening. Next up, we have Nikki Bella from the WWE and Total Divas, the Bella twins. I don't know how, what else was she in? Dancing with the Stars. She married Artem, her dancing partner. They wound up getting divorced in like a week. No, not in a week, but I was really surprised from the day that they filed for divorce and now they're literally completely divorced. And that happened in a matter of less than probably 2 months or 3 months. Anyways, excited for Nikki Bella because she is competitive. She's no longer a wrestler, but she's got that wrestling background. And I think that is perfect for this show. I'm very excited. Who else we got? Bob from Drag Race. I don't watch Drag Race, but I've seen Bob before, and I'm always here for anyone from Drag Race. Jeremy from Survivor, don't know him. Tony from Survivor, don't know him. Rob from Survivor, I actually do remember him, surprisingly. I think I watched the first 2 seasons of Survivor ever, and I feel like I remember him kind of because he was a huge jerk, but whatever, we'll see. Dylan, this is so embarrassing. It says Zac Efron's brother as Dylan's title, and I could not be more embarrassed for anyone. This is so sad. Poor Dylan. We have Ivor. He's British royalty. Wells from Bachelor Nation. Don't watch those. Bob from Biggest Loser. I used to watch Biggest Loser, and I love Bob. Sam, Britney Spears' ex. That is embarrassing as well. And then finally, we have Tom Sandoval. Says Vanderpump Rules, but somebody I don't know. I think it was in DMs. They were like, it should say Ariana's ex. I am so excited. Y'all don't understand. This is my favorite show of all time. Like, I want to be on this show because I want to play it, maybe without the cameras there. But I just love a challenge. I love a competition. And I think this show is just like so campy and hilarious. I love it. I cannot wait. All right, let's move on. I also want to mention House of Villains season 2. It is so hilarious. I did a review on House of Villains season 1. I think I binged it and then I just did one review at the end. And it was good. I liked it a lot. And it was before the Traitors season 2. So I was like really hyping it up. I was a little nervous about season 2 because I don't know, there's always that like season 2 curse, I feel like, with anything. But this season is actually really good. It's hilarious. It's very unserious. They put in effort into making jokes. Like there was a scene in the latest episode of Teresa Giudice dressed as Mother Teresa, and with the like videography and everything, with the music, the editing is making it even more hilarious than it already is. At one point, I forgot what the girl's name is. She's from The Bachelor. She was like, she's having like a serious moment where she's like ready to cry. She's like, this whole situation has been very tumultuous. She meant to say tumultuous, but she said tumultuous. Tumultuous. So then the editors like posted, they were like, too much illish is when, like, the definition is when things have been too much. I think that's hilarious. But in this the whole cast photo, they don't show that Larsa is on the season, and Larsa is such a good villain. I find her to be entertaining. I know a lot of people are like, I hate Larsa, la la la, but that's like what I love about her is that she's so rude. She's just so blunt and doesn't give any fucks, and that's what I like about watching Larsa. Would I ever want to be like good friends with Larsa? Probably not. I'd be scared of her, but she's entertaining as hell. And New York, I was a little bit nervous about New York coming back. And if you don't know who New York is, she's Tiffany Pollard. She was on Flavor of Love, and she was such a star on that show, and she still is. I was nervous about her coming onto season 1 of House of Villains because I'm like, I haven't seen New York on TV in forever, but she delivered, and she's still delivering season 2 with Teresa, with everyone. She is hilarious. I'm loving it. Wes, surprisingly, so I used to watch the challenge way back in its like first few seasons, so I remember Wes, and he's delivering as well. I'm really liking this cast, surprisingly. And the people that I didn't know before this show, I'm learning about, and I am enjoying them as well. Like Safari, who did he date? Did he date Cardi B or Nicki Minaj? I don't know. He's hilarious, though. Okay, let's move on. I have 2 movies that I want to talk about. The first one is The Last Showgirl. So this is starring Pamela Anderson, Jamie Lee Curtis, I forgot, Dave Bautista, the former WWE guy. And I just want to say this movie, so I got a screener of this movie. It will be in theaters on January 10th, 2025. And my review on this is that this movie was somehow depressing while simultaneously being empowering at the same time, which was very odd. And it's directed by Gia Coppola. I believe that's her name. Coppola, right? So a lot of the production, the way that the movie was put together is done in a what they would call a high art type of way. And meaning it says it gives off a lot of emotions without having to say a lot, but a lot is done with the videography and just the way that they produce this movie. So I recommend you go see that. Also, Pamela Anderson looks so good. She's 57, I think, and I'm jealous. Like I want her body. Like I wish I had her body. And then same with Jamie Lee Curtis. They made her look so insane in this movie, but like in an appropriate way. And it's not a dig on Jamie Lee Curtis. Like Jamie Lee Curtis is amazing, but they purposely made her look like a crazy washed up, like cocktail waitress in the casinos in Vegas. It's really, I was like dying. Okay, next movie that I wanted to review is called Breakup Season. It's about a young man who brings his girlfriend to his rural Oregon hometown for Christmas to introduce her to his family, only for things to go terribly wrong upon arrival. This movie won 33 awards this year. And for some of us Christmas fans out there, this is definitely what I would consider to be a Christmas movie or holiday movie. And I like that it's a different type of Christmas movie. It's not I feel like the Christmas movie niche is oversaturated with very cheesy and corny Christmassy type of themes. I also watch on Netflix one with Lindsay Lohan, which actually I kind of like that one. But then I watched one with Lacey Schubert from Mean Girls, from Party of Five, and that one was just too cheesy for me. Like she falls in love with a snowman. I couldn't do it. I mean, I watched it, but I was like, oh my God. Anyways, Breakup Season will be available to rent or buy on video on demand beginning December 6th, 2024, which is next week, on the following platforms: Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon, Fandango, At Home. What is this? Vubiquity, Verizon, Fios, and Hoopla. Go check that out. Okay, we're done with that stuff. Let's move on to our Bravo TV lineup. Let's go to Potomac, The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 8, Healing, Thriving, and Surviving. Wendy preps for her 40th birthday bash. Oh my God, that entrance of Wendy on the boat was insane, by the way. But okay, Wendy preps for her 40th birthday bash and tries to bring her extended family together. Oh, I really did like that part. Because don't forget, Wendy's husband, Eddie, his family has like disowned him basically because of his marriage with Wendy, and they haven't even met their children yet. Like that was so heartbreaking to me. And it all has to do with like cultural reasons, I believe, which is even more sad. But anyways, okay, Karen's big day in court arrives. Grand Dame. Ashley performs her new single at a GNA event. Mia confides to the ladies about rising tensions between Gordon and Ink. Oh my God. I need to. That throuple is a little bit too much for me. Giselle and Mia's confrontation causes issues within the group. This episode, for one, TJ stood out to me a lot. First, they catch him dancing, and that was interesting. But then TJ has a straight up temper tantrum with Stacy at this party, acting like he's a child, like her child. He's like, you left me. And like, oh, what? I'm sorry, but you're at a party. You're a grown ass adult. You can't like mingle and talk to people. And even if that's the case, then just come up and be like, hey, how's it going? And tag along. Like, what's the big deal? It's weird. Unless I'm missing something. That was like really bizarre. At this GNA event, Ashley is confident, very confident. And I love that about her. This song may not be it for me, but I will say this again. I love coffee and love. Some of you may hate me for that or judge me very harshly, but I mean, I can't help it. I like that song. Coffee and love needs me when Does anyone else like Coffee and Love by Ashley Darby? I think it's a bop. Haters. Anyways. Also, the editors were shady. They called TJ Stacy's best friend. They are trying to start trouble. Let's go to the comments. Just Jen said, get your hands off me because she was socializing. Wait, he put his hands on her? I hope that's not the case. Lily B said to keep Robin quiet, they gave her a gig. Speaking of Robin, just Jen said she was a snooze on Potomac. Can't imagine her on Traitors. I know. That's what I'm nervous about, but I'm going to go into it being hopeful. What else do we got? Okay, let's move on. Anything else about Potomac? Karen is so funny for calling herself triple 20 plus one. Triple 20 was good, but she's still going with it. So, oh, Just Jen said she touched his arm and he pitched a fit. Yes, he was like, "Don't touch me." That was weird. I don't think. Do men say that to women? Like, "Don't touch me." I don't think I've ever seen that. All right, let's move on to one of the best shows. Oh, sorry. Let me go back because this is important. Just Jen said, why did Mia say my kids' fathers? I feel like this is my opinion. This is my guess, my assumption. I have a feeling because the editors are smart on Potomac. They're very witty, they're hilarious, and they're smart. And I think what they're going to do is because they did like a to be continued, right, for the next episode. I think she's going to say, yeah, Ink is going to be their new stepfather. But in reality, we know, everyone knows, there's a question about the paternity of one of Mia's children. So I think she said that on purpose to kind of, just bait everyone. It's smart. I'm not going to lie. But let's move on to Married to Medicine, season 11, episode 1. It was the season premiere. The episode was called Guess Who's Coming to Whitnick? The ladies of medicine return, but there has been drama in the ATL since the reunion in New York. Heavenly and Quad men fences, but will it be as easy with Simone? T faces her swimming fears. I didn't know T couldn't swim. And I didn't know that Phaedra was a lifeguard. She is so funny. She has like a million jobs. T faces her swimming fears while Phaedra and Dr. G discuss the social media bombshell dropped by Heavenly. Simone and Cecil throw a Freaknik-inspired party where an uninvited guest crashes and an old friend makes a surprise appearance. This show is so good, and I'm so grateful for it, but I'm also really angry that I only found out about this show in the last couple of years. I want to go back to season 1 and do a full binge and just focus on that, but it's really hard because Bravo's always putting out new content. So I'm going to have to do that at some point, or I'm manifesting that. That is a goal of mine, is to be able to carve out time to do that because this show is so good. And I don't even think that I got the good, its glory seasons. From what I hear from other people, this show has changed lives. So first of all, I want to say I love Dr. Heavenly. I know she may be problematic or polarizing for some people, but I just cannot help but love her. I think she is so funny. I think she's super witty. And in person, I met her at both Bravo cons in 2022 and 2023. And both times I met her, she like forced me to hug her. Not force me, because like, of course I want to hug Dr. Heavenly, but like I was just putting out my hand to be like, hi, I'm Jenny Blaze from Bravo and Blaze. And she hugged me both times. I just love her so much. Another thing is we got Dr. Contessa back. I also met Dr. Contessa at BravoCon, and I love her. Also, I interviewed her. I think, oh my God, it's been like 2 years. I cannot believe that. But we talked to, what I really love about Dr. Contessa is her work as a doctor, because she's into integrative medicine and alternative wellness and things like that. So go check out our interview from a couple years ago. I need to catch up with her. Also, I think this was in 2024. This was this past year. Oh, wait, was it this year? It might have been end of last year. It was after BravoCon last year, but I also got to interview Dr. Simone. We talked about cannabis and women's health. Go check that out. Before I move on, something that made me kind of fall off of last season was when everyone kind of ganged up on Quad. And is Quad messy? Absolutely. But when they like made her leave that group trip, I felt so awful. It like really hurt my soul. And it's really hard for me because like obviously I love Dr. Simone too. And Dr. Simone is the one who is like really adamant about it. So I'm like, oh my God, this is heartbreaking. So to see Heavenly go, and she said, I watched it back and what we did to you was really wrong. And she went and made amends with Quad. And that's what I love. This is like another reason I love Heavenly, because one, she's able to look back and grow, grow from her experience. And that's what I love about reality TV. I think that, and I hope that people should use this platform as a tool for self-growth and self-improvement. So love to see that. Although at the Whitnick party, which I love this theme so much, they had low riders. Quad comes bouncing in. It was funny because when Simone came in on her low rider, they were really bouncing big. But then when Quad comes in, Dr. Simone was giving her thank you speech, and Quad comes in late with the low rider, and it's kind of bouncing, but like kind of softly. I was dying. I'm like, this had to have been planned, right? Like, there's no way this was a coincidence, but I don't know. We'll have to ask. Oh my God, that was just too funny. All right, let's move on. Okay. Below Deck Med. Actually, before we move on, let me see. Just Jen said, Simone is being too hard on Quad. I agree. I love Heavenly and I love her friendships. She does admit when she's wrong, which is a lot. She's just so funny. I love her. Okay. Below Deck Sailing Yacht. This one is kind of painful for me. Okay. Season 5, episode 8, an eye for decline. The crew works to avert a major nautical crisis. Tensions between Danny and Keith remain high. I still barely know who Danny and Keith are. A crew member makes a dramatic exit, leaving everyone else reeling in the wake. Gary attempts to drown his sorrows, and despite Daisy trying to comfort him, he ends up making a mess and nearly taking out an eye. I'm sick of Gary. That's probably another reason that I'm not interested in this show that much. But I did a poll because I wanted to know, should Emma have been fired? So Emma is a deckhand, and Gary's been complaining about her since the beginning. She doesn't seem there's no sense of urgency with her. She just like doesn't really work. So I did a poll on Instagram. I did it on Twitter, but I forgot to go look up the results. I think they're pretty similar. But on Instagram, 75% said yes, Emma should be fired. 5% said no. 20% said I don't know. And I'm not mad at the people who said no, because at least they have like an answer. But the 20% of I don't know, really? I'm shocked. I feel like it would be a hard yes or no. I didn't know that many people would be on the fence about it. But I don't know, maybe because I don't like Gary, I'm not blaming her as much. So I'm like, is it her fault? Is it Gary's fault? I don't know. Just Jen said Gary could have showed interest in Emma and trained her though. Yeah, that's where I'm like, I guess I don't know in that perspective. But I kind of was like a hard yes, she needs to go, because she wasn't doing anything. She was very useless. I feel bad because she also had like issues about it. She's like, I feel like I'm worthless and la la la. And it's like, ooh, because that's kind of the case. But then again, Gary, are you not doing your job as the bosun? I don't know. Let's move on. The show is not doing that great. Okay. Real Housewives of New York, season 15, episode 9, Coming Clean. At Uba's pigeon picnic, Erin finds herself in hot water with the ladies, leading Raquel to question their friendship. Uba sees a fertility specialist to discuss options about starting a family. Erin opens up to Jenna about a secret from her past. Okay, so last week I had this picture up, and I was talking on my live stream about whether or not we can ever get authentic housewives again. Because if you look at the contrast between our OG housewives who had no social media, who didn't dress up for confessionals, didn't even have reunions, or had like impromptu Watch What Happens Live reunions, it was very different than today's housewives, where we have this reboot of New York Housewives. They're very aware of what's going on social media and like their perception from the audience and things like that. So my question was, is it even possible to get a quote unquote authentic as possible housewife who doesn't even look at social media, who doesn't care about social media or any of those things, right? I posted that. And if you look at my social media behavior and patterns, I post the same clips on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. And so where was this? TikTok, I posted this, and Uba, who doesn't even follow me on TikTok, commented and said, "You be that so we can judge you." Oh my God. What? Is this real life, y'all? What? This is exactly what I'm talking about, Uba. Oh my gosh. She proved me right by making this comment. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Orange Blossom said, I agree. The New York Housewives are too self-aware. Sai did a 180 personality switch from last year. Don't forget, Sai is a content creator. She's a social media expert. There are things that social media experts can see. There's patterns and behavior that happens only online that we notice, but that the general public doesn't always notice. And Orange Blossom, I think you're spot on. I think she completely adapted her personality to match what the comments were saying. Even at the reunion too, it felt like she saw what everyone was saying, and then at the reunion she like modified her behavior a little bit. Just Jen said, I was sad to see Aaron's dad passed away. I know, that was really sad. And Aaron, oh my gosh. So Aaron shared that she had an abortion when she was 18. And I think it was really, I felt really grateful. These are the moments that I am super grateful for when it comes to reality TV. I think that is something very personal and something that is not easy to share. So when we get those moments, I feel very grateful, and I'm always going to root for these people who share with us. Even Uba here, who's like wilding out on TikTok. Like, I am still rooting for every single person on these shows. And that's maybe why I get so activated sometimes when it comes to people like Tom Sandoval. I'm like, I get Tyra Banks on it. Like, I was rooting for you. Come on. So yeah, that was very sad. And then also Erin is currently pregnant. So like there's a lot going on with Erin right now. And I just feel grateful, even though I don't like love her as a housewife, which is weird. Maybe I do. I'll have to think about it more. I don't think about this show that much, actually. Let's move on to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 16, episode 2, A Sobering Separation. After an ungraceful conclusion to the surrealist ball, Kyle and Dorit's fractured friendship remains hanging in the balance. Bazoma opens up about how she turned tragedy into triumph while Garcelle is away working in Atlanta. While Garcelle is away working in Atlanta, Sutton and Erica join forces to dole out a slice of divorce advice for Kyle. Dorit and PK take a sobering look at their marriage and separation. So I don't like this show because of the fandom. I feel like the fandom is too toxic for me personally. I'm not saying you guys, if you're fans of Beverly Hills, are toxic. Don't come after me. Do not start a fight with me. I'm not going to have it. But I'm just saying, for me personally, I don't like to review it because the fandom is so intense and it can become very toxic. So my only comment is I was dying over Dorit yelling Grace time is over. She not only said it once to Kyle, she said it twice, and she said it louder with her whole chest. And this is what I'm here for. I'm watching. I love it. What else happened? Bose. I am definitely interested in hearing more about Bose. Bose is a marketing specialist, though. She knows how to work this game. And I'm not mad at her for it at all. I'm like loving it and I want to learn from it. I think she's amazing. Sutton seemed to be going hard on Kyle when it came to the divorce advice, but I would take advice from Sutton. The woman gets $350,000 a month. A month in spousal support. So yeah, listen to her. All right, what's next? We have The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 5, episode 11. Troops Salt Lake City. Heather and Whitney host a girls' camp to reunite the women, but fractures in the friend group only become more evident. Meredith invites Mary to a gallery to work through their issues, but things quickly go awry. Lisa and Angie meet up to attempt to make amends, but Bronwyn threatens their reconciliation when she reveals that Angie and Whitney have been talking behind everyone's back. I think they made a little error here. As her bat mitzvah approaches, Meredith hosts a Shabbat dinner. Mary has a heart-to-heart with Robert Jr. and learns a dark truth. Okay, so I already mentioned this before, that I saved my Salt Lake City commentary for Patreon. I already started this before season 5 started because like I mentioned about Beverly Hills, I feel like New Jersey has a very toxic fandom, and I believe that Salt Lake City is quickly fighting for that number 2 spot, or maybe number 1 spot, and being the most toxic franchise on Bravo TV. So I started reviewing Salt Lake City on Patreon just to keep things safe for myself and so that we could speak freely. But even that didn't keep us safe, because our new shiny face housewife, Poopwin, she was, I think she's a fan of mine, even though she doesn't follow me on her main account, her real account. She probably follows me on her fake accounts. But she came after me when I was doing what I always do, which is live tweet. I give my thoughts. I do not say anything as fact. It's weird to me that any Bravo Lebs would even be watching things that closely on Twitter or on social media. But she didn't like she didn't like the conclusions I was coming to, and she came after me, and in my opinion, she abused her platform as a housewife, and she attacked me on social media, and I still get attacks to this day, even though this has been how many weeks now? It's been like a month or something. And I even I did this public bonus episode for everyone to describe what happened with that beef with Bronwyn. Actually, they're beefing with me, so it's beefing with Blaze. But then I did a follow-up Patreon only episode to spill some tea. So go check that out. But yeah, that's why most of our stuff is on Patreon. But I will talk about Salt Lake City a little bit. So during FanFest, we did a bonus episode. Meredith, Heather, and Lisa were in attendance. Obviously, the rest of the ladies weren't there. Whitney and Bronwyn, though, who were not at FanFest, were watching closely and were very active on social media and responding to things on social media. So go check out that bonus episode to find out more about that, because I think it says a lot. It says a lot about Whitney and Bronwyn, I think. And then also, I know people don't love Brittany, or Brittany, as I like to call her, but I am loving her even more. I think Wicked coming out has done something to her, which I get, because when I saw Wicked on Broadway, did I see it on Broadway? I think I saw it in Chicago. The whole soundtrack changed my life. I was listening to it on repeat for months, maybe an entire year. And so I get it. There was Brittany, she goes, wait, can I share this video? Oh. Something's going on here. Never mind. I just got feedback. But she did a video of her walking on the Vegas Strip. She's got green face makeup on, and she's screaming and singing like the Wicked stuff. I thought it was amazing. I love it. And I want more of her on season 6. She's like the perfect amount of unhinged, and she's funny. And I don't think she's a bad person. I think she's lacking self-awareness, but like not in a really awful way. It's more like she's just kind of like naive and living in her own world, and kind of unapologetically. And that's what I like. I love that. So campaigning for Brittany Bateman to be on season 6 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Also, big news, Meredith Mother Marks is following Bravo and Blaze on Instagram. Woohoo! I forgot to include the visual for that. But also this week, I forgot to include this visual as well. Sorry about that. There's a lot going on. Apparently, Us Weekly reported that Heather Gay, in her new book, says that Coach Shaw tried to kiss Monica Garcia. And immediately all I could think was, oh my God, Jen Shaw is going to beat the shit out of Heather Gay. Oh my gosh. Dude, Heather Gay is asking for it. I already called this before I found out about this second book, the information in the second book, but I've been saying this. As soon as Jen Shaw gets out of prison, I believe Bravo may have said, no, they're not going to take her back, but I think they will. And I think when she comes back, she is going to take down Heather Gay so hard. I just feel it in my bones. I feel like Jen's got her plan already in motion or has it laid out. I also want, when I read this, I had this whole fan fiction come to mind. I'm like, oh my God, I'm imagining Elizabeth Holmes. Okay. She finds out this information about Heather Gay, Coach Shaw, and Monica Garcia before Jen Shaw somehow. And they're like, I don't know, it's recess time or something. They're outside and Elizabeth just walks up to Jen like, hey, Jen, did you hear the news? And tells her what happens. Then Jen Shaw just like flips out and starts screaming. And Elizabeth Holmes just walks away smiling and giggling. Like, I feel like that would be hilarious. But also, it could go the other way where Elizabeth Holmes and Jen Shaw are friends. And she's like, oh my God, how dare they do this to you while you're in here? That is so messed up. And imagine Elizabeth Holmes helps Jen Shaw work on the Heather Gay takedown plan. This is all fan fiction, but that's how I entertain myself. We will talk about this episode in more detail on Patreon. Oh, shoot. One thing I do want to mention is Mary Cosby and Robert Jr. I bawled the whole scene. Again, this is where I am so grateful to all of the people who go on reality TV and share their personal stories like this. Like, I don't know if I could ever do this. So when I see, and as much as everyone wants to judge them, and we do, but like at the end of the day, what I see first and foremost is people who are brave enough to share their personal lives and be vulnerable if they actually are, like we saw Mary and Robert Jr. Like, that really truly felt like a raw moment. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm grateful for. I will never wish anything bad for these people because look at what they're giving us. And we're lucky. So that moment was just very heartbreaking. As a mother, I just felt so bad. Like, I could cry right now. But the good news on Watch What Happens Live, after that episode, Andy gave us an update and Mary said that Robert Jr. is doing well, and hopefully he stays on that track because we're rooting for them. Okay, let's see. Comments. Orange Blossom said, Angie read Bronwyn and Meredith to filth, not the hearing aids. Bronwyn and her fandom can go. Oh, and Dub is here. What's up, girl? Orange Blossom said, Brittany did a wonderful cover of Defying Gravity. I love her even more too. Yeah, so this is what I love about Brittany. She's a newbie. She's only a friend of, but I think she's giving the appropriate amount of herself in her first season. Like, and I'm comparing to the other newbies. Obviously, we got Bronwyn, who I think is doing way, 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 way too much. And it feels like she's put all her cards out on the table right out the gate. She leads with the fake, I don't want to say fake. So the heart-shaped coat is not fake itself, but she lied about it being like one of three, which is such a weird thing to lie about. So for her to come right out the gate and like put all her cards out there and fight with everyone, it feels very contrived. It feels planned. It doesn't feel authentic, and I don't like it. Now, when you look at Brittany, she's given us mess. She's given us chaos. She's put herself out there and continues to do so, even though she gets so much shit from Mary Cosby specifically. But there is so much more to this woman that we don't even know about her. She can sing. She's a singer. And we have seen like a little bit of that, but she's doing a lot on social media. So I love when a new housewife does that because it helps like slowly unravel the mystery a little bit. Whereas like Bronwyn has just put everything out there. It's like, there's no mystery. I'm not interested. It feels like we're dating. Like Brittany knows how to keep people coming back for more, I feel like. Because not only that, she was on Broadway, I believe. There's more to her that I would like to get to know. And like her whole dating habits of having a spreadsheet. Like I want to see the spreadsheet. That's important to me. Oh my gosh. Orange Blossom also said, Mary helped a lot of families. A lot of people came out on social media about drug abuse. Heart. Agreed. This is what I love, again, is that I feel like the people on the shows are doing a huge service to the public, but also for themselves because they can use this platform as a tool for self-improvement and self-growth. But they're also helping others who are watching, and that's just beautiful. I love that. Again, go check out those extra episodes. One thing I want to just note is that there is a programming change coming up next week because Sold on SLC, a new show, is starting on Wednesday. So Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern, and Sold on SLC will air at 9 p.m. Eastern on Bravo. So make sure you check those out. I wonder if Baby Gorgeous will be in the premiere. I'm here for this because I feel like it's going to be a mix of drama, like Mormonism drama. So think Secret Lives of Mormon Wives / Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but a different group, and they're working in real estate. So think like $1 million listing type of vibe mixed with the drama. That's what I'm expecting. I hope I'm not off. I hope I'm not disappointed. But let's see, before we go on Instagram, question from the Norma Maldonado. Good morning. Question: what is so not nice about Kyle? I know so many people who don't like her, but I fail to see why. I don't think that she's like not nice. I think she's just obnoxious. To me personally, I don't hate her, but I also am like, I'm annoyed by her. I feel like she's acting all the time. And what I predicted from season 1 or whatever, where I was like, why is she so obsessed with getting home to her kids when her hot husband is like, let's take an extra day on vacation to spend time together? I was like, this is not going to go well. This woman is too obsessed with her children, and they're going to leave someday. And what is she going to have left? And now we're seeing on this episode, she's like, yeah, Mo moved out and one of the other kids moved out. So she's home with her one kid. She's like sitting on her or laying on her bed saying, oh, what am I going to do with myself? And it's like, I said this years ago. But I also am not like a huge Beverly Hills fan. So I don't watch regularly. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on that show at all. Cosmic Confetti said Sierra is wild to me on the Traitors. Really? TT said, I hope Kristen got a big pay bump for season 2 of The Valley. I hope so too. Kristen pregnant is the best news this week. Katie posted in her stories on Instagram, I think they're referring to Vanderpump Rules being recast. Schwartz lost his bar and huge check in the same week. This isn't good. What will happen to Schwartz, Jenny? I'm honestly kind of worried about him. I don't know either. Oh my God, my phone keeps connecting and then there's like feedback. Okay, what else? And we need to have a good cry about VPR. How are you feeling about Brownwyn? You liking her any better now? Nope. The Todd father is a lot. Yep. Okay. Well, I want to make sure that I remind you all to subscribe, follow, share, like, leave a comment and 5-star review for Bravo and Blaze on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow on social media at Bravo and Blaze. Check out new episodes of Bravo and Blaze every Friday and Patreon on Mondays. But also keep your eye out for bonus episodes. Until next time, stay lit, y'all. Oops.